6 months on this.
Enough to do the microphone. Yeah, we did to create that. Oh, whoops. Hi, guys. Let's see, I forget which one my camera is. Okay, there I am. Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Happy Tuesday. Hey, Kent. Hey, everybody there at the watch party. Hey, guys. So good to see so many faces there. We've got a packed house here, too. You can see on the little screenshot there, you can see what it looks like behind the scenes here in Vegas, all around the room. I know all you parents are just clamoring to see your loved one on the camera. Not everybody gets in the shot, but you can see the whole room there on those pictures, so that's kind of fun. So anyways, good to see you all. A couple announcements before we get started. Becky, add as you need. But we wanted to throw a couple reminders out there. Number one, thank you to those of you who came to the auction. Thank you to those of you who have done the survey so far. We sent out a survey and we're looking for more responses to the survey. It would be really helpful in us just improving, being even better next year. So if you attended the auction, there's the QR code. You got an email with it, the link to do the survey. If you can't find that and you don't know how to scan this on your computer right now or something like that, reach out to me or Becky and we'll shoot the link to you so you can do that. We're hoping for at least 10 more people, but even more, but at least minimum 10 more people to get that in for us to really get a good view of your feedback. So we would really appreciate that. So thank you. Next, we still have our mugs. We have a really cool picture that Becky took here. Let's see it. I love it. Look at that picture. So we've got our Yeti mugs. Now we had those as a special exclusive commemorative item at the auction. And afterwards, a lot of people were like, oh my gosh, I wish I got one, or they didn't go to the auction and they want one. So we made it available for 2 more weeks, just 2 more weeks, that we're collecting pre-orders, and then we're placing the order with Yeti. We have to have an X number amount, and we have to buy in bulk. So it truly is like it's just an opportunity that you have to pre-buy it. We'll order it for you. We'll have it back by Christmas, and you will get your own mug. So you will want to follow this link that I put in the chat. If you scroll up, actually, let me just right now, let me just pop it fresh because there's been a lot of little chats. So let's, and then, so Courtney's asking for the survey. If you went to the auction, you'll get that. If you could private message us. I don't know how to get it to you in the chat here on Zoom, Courtney. But if you could shoot us here, let me give you my number. You could shoot me a text and request that because I will lose it in this chat. There's my number. So just shoot me a request and we'll get you that, Courtney. So get your mug orders in. They'll be back by Christmas. And then what else do we got, Becky?
Oh, I guess it was off. The mob at 11 tomorrow.
Yes.
If you need the link, you can contact me or Kristen or Angie.
Yes, and the mob, ladies, that's Moms at Battlefield, but it's actually all ladies. You are totally invited to join us Wednesday mornings. We're having a lot of fun on Wednesday mornings. It's just a 1-hour coffee date on Zoom that we have, and it's just an opportunity for us all to get to know each other more, talk about the topic from the night before. It's just a lot of fun. So please join us. If you haven't joined us yet, you are in good hands, so don't be shy. Shoot me a message and I'll get you the link. You can join us tomorrow morning. Now, in a couple weeks, I'll be in town in Seattle. I'll be there for the watch party on Tuesday the 5th. And then on Wednesday, we're going to have a special in-person moms group at Kristen Fairweather's house on Lake Tapps. She's got this big, beautiful home that's just so perfect for our gatherings. We got to do that in July and had a lot of fun. So for all your moms that make it, you can plan the day off work. Please join us. It's going to be great. So that's on Wednesday, December 6th at 11 a.m. And we'll keep putting those details out as well. So I think that might be it. Am I missing anything, Becky? Let me double check my little list here.
I don't think so.
Oh, only one more thing. Next Tuesday, we will, Bill and Becky have been hosting the watch parties at Kent's every week. So it's giving an opportunity for all you local people to join in person, which is a lot of fun. It's way more or way more fun in person for all you local people. So it's fun to see the room all full there. Now, next week, they're going to be tuning in from home. So there's not going to be a Kent watch party next week, just with Thanksgiving week and the craziness of that. So everybody can tune in just from where you're at home. So heads up. But usually they're hosting that every Tuesday. And if you don't already get the reminders, our text reminder list, you get a text every Monday. That's not from my phone number, it's from a text service that we use. If you're not already on that list, be sure and get signed up for that, because every Monday you get a reminder text letting you know what's going on this week. And it's letting you know if we're on Zoom, watch party, any other pertinent information. Make sure you're on that text reminder list. And if you don't know how to do that, shoot me a message. You can do it from our website. But if you're not already on that, please reach out. Okay. Well, I think it is some comedy time. So, Mr. Munkers, let me get over and remove some screens here. And remove me. So Mr. Kyle Munkers over there, tuning in from Rebuild. Now he brings us Kyle's Corny Comedy Corner. So take it away, Kyle.
All right. So, turns out the world is 70% uncarbonated water. So the earth is flat. Justin. My parents are always telling me that my favorite food as a kid was alphabet soup, but they're just putting words in my mouth. I got this new girlfriend. Fun fact, you guys didn't know. But it turns out, I found out she's a ghost. I mean, in all honesty, I knew the moment she walked through the door.
Oh, God.
No, but for real, there's this really cute cashier that works at Fred Meyer. I mean, every time I go in there, she checks me out. Back right after high school, I used to work for Shucks Auto Supply. I was the first assistant manager, just so you guys know. There came a day where I actually left there. I quit. I had to quit. I had to quit after from hearing the words my boss said to me. It was ridiculous. He said, "Kyle, you are fired." I was done. I went to a restaurant. I went to a restaurant the other day. And after I finished my meal, the waitress, she came up to me and said, "Well, hey, sir, how was it? How'd you find your steak?" And I said, "Well, it was sitting next to the potatoes." I picked up a hitchhiker yesterday. I was on the way to where he wanted to go. He said, "How do you know I'm not a serial killer?" And I said, "No, bro. What's the chances we have 2 serial killers in the car?" So I started. So I've been kind of experimenting and kind of checking out other 12-step programs. And for a few weeks now, I've been chairing a Plastic Surgery Addicts Anonymous group. And last week we actually had some new faces. I was disappointed. Hey, there was this one day that Art came to me and said, "Kyle, you're immature." And it pissed me off. I was mad. I said, "Art, get out of my pillow fort."
Nice. Oh, goodness. Thank you, Kyle. Oh, man. Good stuff. All right. I think we're good on sound.
We're all good, so let's get rolling.
I'll start out and say that in my humble opinion of I say my humble opinion, my humble interpretation of what God is, I want to say that because I say it's my humble interpretation, because my interpretation may change and I don't want to look stupid, but to me it's truth, presence, love, and God. And to me, that all means the same thing. So I just wanted to say that first before I start. But I think that to me, they're all the same meaning. They all make you cry. They all give you the same feeling. And I think it's just all the same thing. So truth, presence, love, God, to me is equal or the same. In 2007, I went to a place called Highline Hospital, and that was a treatment center. And it was the first time I really had to go to treatment. And I guess I pretty much knew I was a drug addict, but this was something different. I was now having to go to treatment to appease people because they were mad at me or something like that. So this one was to appease my boss. And when I went there, they told me I had the disease of addiction. And that was probably the first time I ever heard that I had the disease of addiction. And, I wasn't convinced, and it didn't really make sense. And then they told me that this disease of addiction that I had seemingly would be cured if I went to a place where people only use their last name or their last initial of their last name. And they went to a room and smoked a lot of cigarettes and drank coffee. And if I went to that place every day, somehow my disease would go away. And all I had to do was do it one day at a time and go to a place where there was a lot of men named Bob and Dave and Bill, and they seem to all be named that. I don't remember very many other names. I don't remember even a Tyler or anything. I just remember Bob, Dave, Bill, Mike, and then their last initial. And that was confusing why they only wanted to use their last initial, but I guess that's going to help my disease, so I'm going to go there. And I didn't really buy in. So, of course, next year in 2008, I went to Pioneer Center North. And they also told me I had the disease of addiction and that it could be cured if they took me to enough meetings. And it was really weird because I was going to one place for a help, which was the treatment center. But they weren't able to help me. They had to drive me to the meeting. So that was what was going to help me. And they couldn't help me because I'm going to have to continue to go to these meetings. I can't get the help I need there. They're not going to cure my disease. My disease could only be cured if I continue to go to these meetings. So, well, here I went, and well, that didn't work. So I moved on with my addiction. Then finally I got sober. I got sober without treatment. I got sober in my parents' house. And when I got sober, my dad said one thing to me. It was pretty profound. He goes, listen, it was after detox, and I laid around and did about 20 days in the detox in my parents' bedroom or my spare bedroom. And when I woke up and I got finally able to sit at the table and talk to my father, he goes, listen, you can never be where you're at. And that was just simple, but it was profound for me at the moment. He goes, wherever you're at, you're not at. And what he was suggesting to me was I'm never present. You see, so now I'm struggling because I didn't understand, because I was still convinced by the treatment world and by everyone in it that I still have this disease, and I didn't really understand. It didn't make any sense. I don't know how I caught it. I don't know what happened. I don't know where it came from. I don't know how I got this disease. And it seemed to be that now that I had this disease, it wasn't really my fault, or there was not much I could do about it. And what they were suggesting is the only thing I could do about it was truly to go to these meetings. And I didn't have another answer. There was no one giving me another answer. It didn't exist anywhere. No one was giving me any other information. It was just simply, you need to go to this place where Bob and Bill and Dave are, and they smoke cigarettes and they drink coffee and they only use their last initial, and you got to go there every day. And if you go there a lot, somehow this is going to work. So, still I tried it, and that's what I did. And I went to those meetings every day, and I did what they said, and I prayed, and it did work, and I did get sober, and it was okay. It was okay. It was okay for about 2 or 3 years. It was okay. And then I was watching the 60 Minutes, and there was a man named Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And he was on 60 Minutes, and he was doing an interview, and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is a drug addict. And Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said, I suffer from the dis-ease of addiction. He called it a dis-ease. And when he said that, a light came on, and it made a lot of sense to me. I went, oh, I don't have a disease. I have a dis-ease. And because that made so much sense to me, it made so much sense to me because all of a sudden it just cleared up. I flashed back to an 11-year-old Art that couldn't sit still. I flashed back to jumping around and like being in the living room and not being able to sit still. I flashed back to not being able to watch a whole television show. I flashed back to my ADD. I flashed back to when I got to junior high and I just didn't fit in, and I was trying so desperately to fit in, and I wanted to fit in, and I wanted more friends, and I wanted everything, and I flashed back to that and I went, oh, that makes sense. But see, that didn't continue to make sense because when they say disease of addiction, what that means is that somehow drugs and alcohol caused it. You see? And I didn't believe that. See? Because the truth is, I suffered from the disease. I suffered from a disease. I didn't suffer from the disease of addiction. I suffered from this disease of being a human. That's all I suffered from was the disease of being a human. And lo and behold, at 13 years old, it was 1987, and I found alcohol. And when I drank that alcohol, I was not suffering from a disease. I was put at ease. So there I went. Now I'm at ease. And then I learned that every time I take drugs and alcohol, my dis-ease goes away. I'm comforted. I'm able to be at ease. So I just kept using drugs and alcohol and using drugs and alcohol and using drugs and alcohol because it helped but I didn't know. See, when they say the disease of addiction, it sounds like the drugs and alcohol are causing it. It doesn't sound like they're curing it. So for me, what I've realized now as I went on is that the disease, it's not a disease of drug addiction, it's the cure of drug addiction. See, the drug addiction is the cure. It's the cure for the disease. It's not the cause. The cause was already there. It had to be. See? And then as I went further working with families, they said it was a family disease. Now that kind of lends to the fact that drugs and alcohol got into the family and diseased it and corrupted it. That wasn't true either, see? The family was already at a disease. And the drugs and alcohol are the medicine, the only medicine, maybe there's other medicines, but it's for sure one of the medicines that is worse than the illness. So now we take this medicine that's worse than the illness, and it causes more disease. So the medicine causes more of the disease, and the disease causes us to take more medicine, and the cycle begins, and the cycle continues, So there it was. So then when he said that, lo and behold, at the same time in my life, Eckhart Tolle showed up. It was weird. It was like right around the same time in my life, and Eckhart Tolle told me to sit still. He told me presence. And I see, as I took drugs and alcohol for 17 years, what I realized was that it covered up this light that was inside of me. You know, there was a light, and that light was called God, love, presence, and truth. But as I took more drugs and alcohol, that light dissipated, and it got smaller, and it got smaller, and it got smaller, and it got smaller, till at the end of my addiction at 37 years old, there was no more presence, God, love, or truth. It just didn't exist for me. There was only self. There was only this light that had been put out. And then you get sober for a little while, and you no matter what you do, if you stop covering it up with drugs and alcohol, what happens is that you find God again, you find the light. And so when my father said to me, "You're never where you're at," what he was saying is, whoa, the drugs and alcohol have extinguished you, have put you out, has taken God away from you, has taken love away from you, has taken truth away from you. You're no longer truthful, you're no longer love, you're no longer God, you're no longer present. And so all those things were gone because I was having this cure, taking this cure for a disease. And now, as it's went on, I want to teach people that that this is a family disease. And now we have to do the work. You see, now it's not sitting in a room with a bunch of people. It's not smoking cigarettes because that's just part of the disease. That's just meaning somebody's still smoking cigarettes because they're having a disease, and now the cigarette takes the disease away. It's not drinking the coffee, because the coffee is also part of it's another cure, people think. And it isn't some external supervisor that we have to find. And that was the other thing that always, in my humble opinion, baffled me, was that there was going to be an external supervisor that I must find and I must please. And that's how you find God. And so you got to look for him. You got to go find him. And if you act right and please him, then you get to go somewhere. And I just never bought in. So I didn't look for an external supervisor. I looked for one thing, and the pathway to my recovery, the pathway to what it really started when I stood really at 3 years sober. At 3 years sober, I started recovering from my disease. That was at 3 years, because that's when I started seeing that it was nothing external. That nothing external will solve it, that nothing external that I get will solve it. My identity being better won't take it away. My car won't take it away. My stuff won't take it away. Nothing will solve my disease. And the way my disease manifested was it manifested in annoyances. It manifested in disturbances. It manifested in upsets. It manifested in anger. It manifested in all the ways that disease can manifest. It manifested in, I remember I was first starting out and I was about 2 years sober, and I'd already had like 9 sober livings, and I'm at 2 years sober. I had 9 sober livings before 2 years sober, and I'm 2 years sober, and I had 9 sober livings, and I'm trying to cure my disease. You see, I'm trying to be big enough that it goes away. And so I'm on the phone one day and I got 134 phone calls, and I'm walking around telling everyone, yeah, if I get 134 phone calls a day, how many do you get? You know, I'm trying everything to take it away. Whatever I could do, whatever I could be, whatever I could get, you know. And I think it starts out really early on, you know. You get a little kid, how's he not going to have a disease when you go, what are you going to be? Just that question right there. What the hell? What am I going to be? Shit. I gotta be something. And then we go about and the disease starts. There you go. What are you gonna be? What'd you score on the test? What was the grade? You got A's, B's, C's? You gonna join the team? Did you score a goal? Did you hit it? Jesus Christ, we just and there it goes. Did you get a girlfriend? Does she like you? Who are you gonna ask to the dance? And there you go. The disease again. I think everyone's got the disease. The person who suffers from the person who drinks to cure their disease is the same thing as the person who gets a master's degree to cure their disease. It's the same person that, I think the disease is the cause of everything. It's why we move. The disease is the cause of everything. It's why we move. It's why somebody goes to college. It's why somebody goes out and body builds. It's why somebody, everything. It's the cause of everything. Is my disease. I'm not satisfied with who I am. I'm not able to sit here. Because there's this nagging voice that tells me that I'm not enough, that I must go be more than I am now. And I need to prove it to people who I am, because I got to be somebody. And how are we not all diseased at that point? And how is it not a family disease when your parents are looking at the kid and they go, you're not enough, you need to be something.
We only bid on winners.
Yeah. So now here we go. And we spark the disease, and we say, hey, listen, you got to be something. You got to show the family who you are. You got to get out there. No, I'm not saying that that's not something that is kind of inevitable, something that we want someone to have drive, but we don't cure the disease before we try to give it the medicine. So here I'm sitting with all of you, and I'm saying, listen, you're going to have to internally cure your disease before you go out and try to be something. Because if you go out and try to be something to cure your disease, you will have a violent reaction with the world. The world will not cooperate. You will continue to force yourself onto the world, continue to try to cure your disease through being somebody. When in actuality, what will happen is, when you become at ease, you will be somebody. When you become at ease, the world will see that you're at ease, and it'll cooperate with you. It'll just cooperate. They'll say, I see you. You're the truth, you're God, you're love, and you're present. Come work for me. I see you. You're the truth, you're God, you're love, and you're present. Come be my girlfriend. I see you. I want to come over to your house because your truth, your God, your love, your presence. And there it is. So we have to look at all the things that are causing this disease in our experience, all the thoughts, all the emotions, all the stuff that's upsetting us. Now, really, I'm going to get you down to what, for me, the root cause of my disease. I felt not enough. I was insecure. I was scared of people. Still am. Still, my disease flares up when around people I don't know. My disease and discomfort around people I don't know. There, I'm scared again. I'm insecure again. Who am I compared to these people? And there it is. My disease is once again present again. And now I know, though, it's not making it look different than it is. It's not convincing that I'm somebody I'm not. My disease, if given the time to be around people, my disease will go away because I will feel safe, because the problem isn't external, it's internal. So now I just have to do one thing. I just have to practice being in here. That's it. I just have to sit. I just have to practice, be here, be with my insecurities, and my insecurities tighten my muscles and they raise my heart rate. And it's not bad. I just got to deal with it. And those will flare up when I'm around people that I don't know. They'll flare up when I'm in a line at the bank and I'm not being treated fairly and the line's too long and it's bothering me. My disease will flare up when I'm in the line of traffic. And my disease will flare up when somebody calls me and tells me it's not going your way. And all this time, my whole life now, is simply one thing. It's learning to deal with my disease. And if I do that, what happens is I can love through the disease. You see? So now, because I'm loving the way I feel, because I'm not diseased, I'm now capable of loving others. So I have to be love capable. And in order to be love capable, I have to be not diseased. And in order to be at ease, I have to deal with my own insecurities. And I have to feel the light inside me, and I have to be that light. And I don't have to find it externally, and I don't have to go think it's a supervisor watching me, and if I act right long enough, he's going to cure it. And I don't have to do anything other than be it. And me being at ease is just a breath. Just, here I am. So if I could see my father again today, I would say, Dad, are you proud of me? Because I can be where I'm at now. And we can sit and be at ease and love each other. And you don't have to talk to me about what I need to go be. And I don't have to talk to you about how to be a better father. And we can sit and look at each other in the eye. And we can be present and love. And I would give any opportunity to do that. And so this is a family disease. A group of people that seemingly just aren't at ease with each other. Everybody's saying you need to be better. We're in a room together with an entire family. We're saying you're not right. You need to be better. And you're saying, but you're not right. You need to be better. And there is the flare up of the disease. And only when we get to the point where each one of us as a family is right. You want your family members to be right because we love what's right. So you better make them right. You better see that they are right. You better get rid of the wrongness. Get to a place where you can look at the rightness so that you can cure your own internal disease. So that's what we're doing here. We're a group of people all suffering from the human disease. And now we have to cure ourselves by sitting with our insecurities, our resentments, talking about them, seeing the things that won't go away and deal with them, talking about the past, being okay with it, completing our relationships, all an attempt to put us at ease so we can be love, God, light, and get the stuff to go that's covering that up away. You get about 40 days sober, you'll belly laugh. You'll belly laugh at about 40 days sober. You know why that is? Because God's back. The truth is back. Love is back. Presence is back. Things have been covering that up before. I bet in your addiction you didn't laugh for years. How many years did you go without laughing? How many years did you go without seeing beauty in things? I'm not talking about when you get high and it's fake and you go, oh man, I'm so high, that's beautiful. I'm talking about when you're off drugs, when you ran out of drugs. Is there anything that's beautiful? When you run out of drugs, is there something that's beautiful? Do you feel love and presence? No, you get that from the drugs, and the drugs are covering up the light. So people say, well, Art, you've really changed. I'm at ease. That's it. You might try to do something to disrupt my ease, but I'm not going to let you. I'm never going to blame you. And so people go, how am I different? Well, that's it. I used to not be at ease. I used to be trying to cure my disease by telling you I'm better than I am or something like that. And now I'm learning to be at ease. Just okay. I don't have to be better than I am right now. It's all good. Just be. Well, I've really changed. No. I got rid of something. I didn't change. I got rid of something. I got rid of the disease. It still flares up. But I don't blame anyone for it. I don't say it's your fault. I don't say I need something else that'll take it away, another house or another. I get angry. It's not your fault. Sometimes people tell me, you're making me angry, Art. I go, I know. It's crazy. That's crazy that you let me have that right. I'm not going to give you that right. And if you make me angry, that's just me blaming you. Fact is, I got angry. I got upset. I got diseased. Why do you want to run around with the disease? I got the right to be angry. You got the right to be diseased, of course. Go ahead, do it. Sounds fun to me. Don't I have the right to be pissed? Of course you do. Enjoy that. Enjoy your disease. Well, don't I have the right to tell you how someone victimized me? Yes, you do. It'll just cause more of your disease. Every victim's at disease. Just be that then. Or you can get on a pathway of responsibility. Be responsible for your own disease. Never give anyone the right to cause it. Just be responsible for it. I'm responsible for my own disease. It's a beautiful feeling to learn to put yourself at ease. Self-regulate, whatever you want to call it. Breathe. Feel. But I suffer from a disease. Ooh, I told my dad that once. He was dying of emphysema, heart failure, diabetes, and that was it. Cancer, all of it. And I went back and my dad yelled at me for getting high. And I said, but Dad, I have a disease. I'd learned that at the treatment center. He goes, that's great, son. We're going to take your disease and my disease and we'll go to a desert island and we'll see who makes it. He said, I won't bring my medication and you don't bring yours. We'll see who makes it. Yeah, I had a disease. He had a disease. He caught some. So as a drug addict, they'll give you every excuse along the way why it's not your fault. I don't know why you want that, because it's very simplistic. You have a disease and you found a cure, and now you can't use it anymore. You found medicine and it was worse than the illness, and now you can't use that medicine now because the medicine's worse than the sickness. So now you have to sit with the sickness. And no one can help you. And it does no good blaming anyone, because now you have to learn to be at ease. And there's the path. And it's simple. And when you're at ease, you will be present. You will be love. You will be God. you will be truth. And you will begin to experience and touch life again. You will begin to laugh. You will begin to love. You will begin to cry. And it's all beautiful. So it's a simple program. You came here with a disease. Now sit there. I don't want to sit here. And the phone has become the new pacifier for the disease. If you don't think the humans are at a disease, watch them try to sit without their phone. You watch. You watch in a restaurant, you watch anywhere. That is a baby's pacifier, and it's now become the human pacifier. It looks like a bunch of humans sucking on a pacifier. Can you put it down? No. No, I gotta need my pacifier. At a stoplight, homeless people have their pacifiers. There's not a homeless person out there that doesn't have a phone anymore. Why? Because they can't sit still. They got to look at that phone. So you think that phone's going to cure your disease? Nope, that medicine is just as sick as the drugs. Now, imagine if we just took the phones away tomorrow. What a feeling of helplessness everyone would have here. What a feeling of desperation. What do you mean? What am I going to do all day? What do you mean? I don't have my pacifier? What would I do tomorrow without my phone? That's the new pacifier. You don't see a human American that looks like a diseased individual. My father would have been. When I see old men now in a restaurant together staring at their phones, devastated. I used to look up to those old men. I was down here in Vegas about 5 years ago, and I walked into the pool, and there was an older couple in the hot tub, and it was the morning, so I went over, and I just, probably around noon, I went and I sat with the older couple, and I didn't have my phone. I just went down there, and I sat with the older couple in the hot tub, and then 3 young ladies got in the pool, or got in the hot tub with us, and they just looked at their phone for the whole time, took a few selfies, and got out of the hot tub. It's like, where else do you want to be? You've worked hard to get to this Vegas hot tub. You've worked hard to pay your money to come to Vegas, but I see you don't want to be where you're at right now. You're creating a world of somewhere else. Me and the older couple sat and talked. It was enjoyable. Then we looked at them and we went, that's the new thing. Try to go to a Mariners game now. Do you see anyone watching the game? Go to a concert. Nobody can watch a concert. Everyone's sitting there recording the concert. Why? You're not going to watch it later. You're going to put that on Facebook to try to cure your disease, aren't you? You think the likes are going to take it away. You think you're going to go home and get more likes, and that's going to make you feel good. And, oh, look at the likes. Oh, God, my disease is going away now. Did you have fun at the game? Didn't watch it.
What if you don't get enough likes?
Yeah, oh, I didn't get enough likes, more disease. Oh, tomorrow I'm going to show my tits. Screw the dumb shit. I'm going with straight tits on this one.
Watch them like it now.
Yeah, I'm getting my likes.
Yeah.
And then they'll take a picture like this, and it's just their cleavage, and they got some glasses on. They're like, new reading glasses. I bet that's what you wanted us to see.
They just have pasties on.
Yeah.
Really.
So look at us. That's what we're doing. We can't sit with each other anymore and be where we're at and look at each other. It's very tough. It's not that we can't do it. It's tough. 5 people in a living room cannot sit and talk. It's very tough. We need 5 people in a living room sucking on their pacifiers, staring at their phones. There. My disease is at bay. I feel okay right now. Because they even make it so, see how diseased we are? They even had to shorten the time of the videos. They had to make videos below 30 seconds because we couldn't watch a whole one. Pretty soon they're going to have to make songs that are 15 seconds. I go to the car with you guys sometimes, and then the song comes on, and then somebody changes it before the end of the song, and then changes it again, change it again. Hey, this is a great song. Yeah, don't change it. What just happened? We didn't listen to the whole thing. No, I don't want to listen to the song. I want you to think I'm cool because I know this song. You see? I want my disease to be taken away. So I want to show you guys a new song that you don't know shit about. Now, I don't want to really listen to it. I just want to prove to you that you didn't know the song. So I'm going to play it. And you guys listen, but I'm not that interested in it, so I'm going to turn it off and show you a different one that you don't know right after that. And there it is. And you think we're not suffering from a disease? We are. And nobody's immune anymore. Including me. Mine flares up all the time. My disease kicks in at the poker table. I have to have a lot of things going on to keep me sitting still. After all these years, I still struggle. Now I need to be looking at TikTok and listening to music and watching the football game and playing poker. And you even got poker now where you can go online and you can play 32 games at a time.
What?
Wow.
Some of the pros are playing 32 to 40 games at a time.
How can you focus on that many games?
So here we are, suffering from the family disease. This inability for us to sit at the dinner table and look at each other and sit still, have a conversation, people not being where they're at, everyone wanting to be somewhere else, a lack of presence, a lack of God, a lack of truth, and a lack of love. And it's important to see that for some time, drugs provided all of those things. A pseudo feeling of love, a pseudo feeling of truth, a pseudo feeling of power, and a pseudo feeling of God. Something greater than myself. Now I don't have that. So I must recover. It's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. This gorgeous process of a diseased human being learning to be at ease. How beautiful is that? Learning to be okay in here. Learning to sit and be with people. It's gorgeous. Families getting together and putting all the phones away. Saying, nobody, just give us a break. Just be here, please. Be together. Okay.
I'm just feeling real.
Perfect.
That was so
Well, Bailey hasn't made it through a group without dropping something, doing something, nothing.
my phone vibrating. Look at my mom, she's pissed.
She's not pissed. She's used to it.
Yeah.
I told Bailey the other day, I said, in my 12 years of recovery, I've forgotten something at the house and had to go back 3 times. I said, you did that 3 times today. It's almost more prevalent that you forget something.
Spotlight your radio.
Drew, thanks for starting us out. Can we get you unmuted?
Am I unmuted?
There you go. Hey.
Hey, so I listen to everything you said, and I just have a question. I mean, coming from as a parent with 4 kids, you talked about, the disease and then also the treatment, but we didn't back up and really identify the diagnosis or identify the problem, right? Because maybe for me as a parent with 4 kids, how I raise all my kids the same way, but maybe it didn't work for one. So that's kind of where I have some problems, and some of these people who need to be treated differently. So I guess that's kind of where I'm at.
I think that everyone in the family suffers from the same disease. It's just, what is your cure? Some people are cured from their disease by an okay identity or school or good grades, or they're cured from the disease by accolades, or they're cured from their disease by awards, or they're cured from their disease by great grades, or whatever it is. I don't think that's any different than somebody that has the same disease but actually stumbles upon other forms of behavior. So I don't consider a drug addict any different than a person that went on to get their master's degree. I don't consider that any. I don't think it's any different. I just think that one found a more healthy cure.
Okay.
You know, but I think the disease of being more than I currently am, drugs will make you think that you're more than you currently are right away. You don't have to even do the work. But some of the things, you know, but I think that that's just the difference. And then somebody's medicine is different than other people's medicine. But, you know, I know my ex-girlfriend's brother was named Yoshi, and he was a classical piano player. And Yoshi had an identity that satisfied his disease. So Yoshi would play in front of thousands of people at PLU or whatever anniversary. And just think how high that will get you.
Yeah.
Just think. I mean, that's probably enough to get you through the week, to have 1,000 people telling you're awesome and clap, man. I don't think Yoshi needs drugs after that. But then again, some people go on to be a musician and become. Eminem was getting accolades and he became a drug addict, so it wasn't enough for him. The medicine wasn't a cure for his disease, and the accolades weren't a cure for his disease either. You see, so I don't think anybody's immune. I think we all have a restlessness and irritable discontent, and our disease fires up through all different kind of disturbances. But if you're angry, you're diseased. If you're irritated, you're diseased. Now it just matters. Some people turn to drugs to cure that. Some people turn to something else. So I don't find it much of a difference between a normal person and a drug addict. I think we all suffer from the disease of human identity, wanting more than we currently are.
Sure.
Never satisfied. So I don't think you did anything different. I think one just walked down a different path.
Great.
You know, I mean, I don't. You know, I think that's that. I think no. I think that explains why why everybody can be raised in the same family and end up at such different places. I think it explains it. It explains it because we all have the same family. We all have the same things, but some of us handle our irritants, our disturbances, our disease. Some of us handle it differently than others. Me, I happened to be 13 years old and alcohol found its way to me. And I took that alcohol, and I was a kid, man. I was a kid. And I took that alcohol, and boy, it cured my disease. I felt confident. I felt known. I felt powerful. And that pathway opened up for me. And I knew how, when I felt disease, when I felt not enough, when I felt like I didn't fit in with my friends, when I felt I didn't have a cool identity like a piano player or a quarterback or a straight A student or homecoming king, I didn't have none of that shit. So I wasn't getting accolades. I wasn't getting nothing. But the booze made me feel like I was enough. The weed, everything, the drugs, man, it was a great cure for my disease. It just got worse. The medicine got worse than the illness. You know,
what if everybody in the family has an addiction issue? Like, what if there's a family of
Phone addicts.
3 kids and they all have addiction issues?
I think everyone has addiction issues. Phone addiction. I think everyone has addiction issues. Phone addiction, internet addictions, whatever, eating addictions. I think that we all do. We're all trying to cure our disease. And I think that if a lot of times, but if it's all drugs, well, that's probably environmental. I mean, if you have a family where everyone's got the disease, everyone's taking drugs to cure their disease, I bet there's a lot of drugs around. You know, I just bet there's a lot of environmental drugs around, and that seems to be an easier path for those people. And maybe they don't have the same access to college or anything like that to take away the disease. So maybe to them, drugs is the only thing they really have.
Hmm.
You know? And so that's convenient because mama did it and daddy did it and my aunt does it. And everyone's curing their disease the same way. And we don't come to Thanksgiving and sit together and be present. We cure our disease. By the end of the day, everyone's wasted. And then for me, that's how Thanksgiving was.
Yeah, but is it a disease if say you go to Thanksgiving and so somebody overserves himself or something like that, but then all of a sudden maybe they just do that at Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I think that they have a disease in that moment, and they're trying to cure it through drugs and alcohol. They might not always do it. It might not mean that they do it every day, but why else would you drink if you felt totally comfortable, relaxed, at peace, in love with God? Then why would you drink? Would you want to? And drinking only is going to extinguish the light that you are. It's going to dull it. So if I'm not at a disease, then why would I drink? Why would I smoke weed? Why would I take drugs? You see? Because I've worked on at my dis-ease, I would never take drugs or alcohol. Because that would just make me feel worse. You see? You know, I think I think they make it magical. They make it sound like it's something that it's not. And, you know, I think that people just have tons of behaviors that take away. Some men are at a disease, so they cheat. Some women are at a disease, so they cheat. Some people call Amazon and get more shit sent to the house. You know, I mean, some people order a pizza. But really, let's just look at ease or dis-ease. Can we sit and be? And if we're going to cure this family dis-ease, well, then it seems to me that the only cure is, can we sit and be with each other? Is everyone enough? Or do they need to run out and be something more than they are so that we can sit with each other?
They muted themselves, so I think
Okay.
you mute yourself because you don't have anything else to say.
Let's see who's next.
Thank you. Thanks, Drew and Allison.
I think, okay.
Okay. All right, who's next? So you saw that he used the raise your hand feature. If you have comments, questions, anything, we welcome it. You can use the raise your hand feature on your device like I just did. Or if you cannot figure that out on your device, no worries. You can unmute yourself. You can say hello in the chat, get my attention somehow, and let's open it up. Any questions, comments, anybody going through it? Confusion? Look at that picture. Someone just, hey, Riley, were you trying to unmute yourself on purpose?
Right.
Oh, hey, Riley. Hey, guys. Was that on purpose or was that an accident?
Riley?
Yeah. Hi, Riley.
Oh no, I wasn't trying to unmute myself.
Okay, well, hi. Good to see you. Well, we can't see you. We can hear you, though.
Oh wow, that's weird. I didn't even touch my screen, but I like the message, Art.
Thanks, bud. Nice.
That's totally true, man. Totally true. Whether it's food or gambling or sex or drugs, anything to make you feel better in that moment, that'll do it. And I think me coming on here every Tuesday for the last couple of years, besides my recent relapse, has helped me learn that. And just listening to your message and trying to change my ways and learn some things and pick up some knowledge has definitely helped me learn to sit with myself and process my feelings and sit with it. So I appreciate you, man.
Thanks, Riley. Nice to hear from you, bud. Miss
Yeah.
you, man.
Miss you too.
Come see us when we're in Seattle next. Come see us in person.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. All right, Connolly's. Hey, guys.
Hi.
Hi.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I really, I love what you're saying, Art. And I think it's so true that if each person can know intrinsically that they are loved, not conditional upon achievements, but intrinsically loved. So, do you have suggestions of language or ways to help everyone feel that love?
Well, first of all, presence, God, love, truth. Okay. The only way to have people feel that is to be that. And the only way to be that is to remove what's in the way. So when it comes to families, if we don't talk about things and we don't share our thoughts will be in the way of our presence. So then somebody will be present to their thoughts rather than to the room in the current moment. So somebody, and we can do it here in this room, we can always ask after the group, who was the least present in the group today? And everyone will have the same answer. We just know. So we just know. And presence is this thing where you can get in a car with somebody and they're in the car with you and you can ask the question, where are you at? Because you know they're not there. And the depth of that that's it. So as a family, we have to be where we're at. We have to be present, but something's in the way. Resentments, past, anger. I've stored up your bad behavior and I remember what you've done to me, and you've stored up my bad behavior and you remember what I've done and said to you. So we must clear ourselves. And then thoughts that I can't share with people, just imagine the difficulty of somebody sitting in the room and trying to be present. And let's say they're a homosexual person and they're in the room and their family doesn't want them to be a homosexual person. And just think what they're going to be present to the whole time they're with their family. They're just going to be thinking about that. So removing these things by talking in a way that there's love in the room, talking in a way that's not accusatory, talking in a way that we investigate and we share our thoughts. I always say, how can I be 100% connected with someone if I don't know 100% of their thoughts? So my connection and my intrinsic love or my feeling of love will be based upon how much I know about your thoughts. If I know 50% of your thoughts, but you only tell me 50%, but rather that's all you give me is 50% of your thoughts for some reason, then I only know you and only connect with you 50% because you're sharing that other 50% with your thoughts. So how do we truthfully get our thoughts out? Not saying our thoughts are true, but actually saying, I have these thoughts. And so as we share these thoughts, as we clear up these resentments, as we do this stuff, what happens is the light gets brighter. And when the light gets brighter, there's more love and more presence and more truth and more God. But something's putting the light out, and that's our thoughts and the way we feel and our disturbances and our little irritants and the things that irritate us and the things that bother us and the things that we think about, and it's all there. And so the work part comes with seeing what would put me at ease. If I don't say this to you because I think I'm a good person and I don't want to say mean things to you, I think about you all the time. And that allows me it blocks the presence between us. So same thing with a coworker or whatever. If you don't tell your coworker what you're thinking and you just go to work, well, you can never be present with that coworker because you're always present to your thoughts. So we're talking about being what we are, which is truth. We're talking about truth, God, love, power. It's not what we attain. It's what we are. We're not our thoughts. We're not our feelings. We are truth. We are God. We are love. We are all these things. But something's in the way. So if I can get to a place, and what I'm trying to teach these guys down here is I'm trying to teach them that it's not something that we deserve, love. We don't deserve it. We get it if we get everything else out of the way. If we become lovable. You see? We shouldn't get love if we're not lovable. Why? We have to be lovable. You can have people love you and not care about it and go do drugs. But it's really hard to love you when you're out doing drugs because I'm so scared of you. And I'm worried about what's going to happen to you. So how can I be in love with you when I'm worried about what's going to happen and I'm scared? So now when you become and you do the work and we all do the work and we all sit and go, hey, I need to get my light brighter. Now are these bright lights sitting together? And there it is. So we have to look at what's dimming the light. See? So there's not a language to it. There's an ease to it. You can't talk about it. You got to be it. You see? The talking language is only the truth, whatever the truth of your thoughts is. I have to be able to tell people the truth of what I'm thinking. If I can't tell people what I'm thinking, how do I be in love with them? You see? People are in love with their thoughts, though. You see? See, it's not me and Angie in a relationship. It's me and my thoughts and Angie and her thoughts. There's 4 of us. You see? And if she wants to cheat on me, then she goes and bees with her thoughts. And she doesn't tell me those thoughts. So now I can't love her because she's loving her thoughts. And she loves them so much she can't tell me. So how can we be in love when we're in thought? See? So now she's in a love with her thoughts, and if that keeps going, our relationship's going to end. It's not going to be love. It's going to be her thoughts and then my thoughts, and we're going to be split, and we're going to be divided.
Thanks, guys. All right, who's next? Good stuff. Keep it coming. Tell us your thoughts.
Or cheat on me.
Don't cheat on us. Give us your thoughts, guys. All right. Mama Bundle. There you go. Hey, Carrie.
Hey there. Art, so I've got my notes going. And I've looking back to last week where we talked about the triangle, and we've talked about it, I think, 3 times this week.
Yeah.
And can you do the artwork of taking truth, presence, love, and faith, and how wherever you are in the triangle, whether it's the oppressor, rescuer, or victim, how those will, I think you said, is when you know, you release it.
Yeah. Well, it's when we're doing those things, when we're rescuing, when we're victimizing ourselves, when we're perpetrating an act on someone, we're never presence, we're never God, we're never truth, we're never love. We're self. And we're trying to force our will onto a situation. And we're not trusting the universe. We're trusting ourselves. So the end of the triangle is the illumination of the light of the triangle. It's to illuminate it. It's to say, in this instance, I need to have God, love, truth. And and if I look closely and I'm present, what I find is I am saving this person for me. I am being heroic. I used to say I was helping people. But I spent the first 4 years of my career helping people, trying to save people. I wasn't helping. I was trying to save. I was trying to be heroic. I was trying to, make it my identity that I help them. And so that's a lack of God, truth, presence, light, everything. So it all starts with just being what we are rather than what we're not. And we are presence, but the fears and the insecurities make us try to force our will on the world to change it and have it operate in a different way. And there you go. Self-will run riot. That's what they say. It's all self-will stuff. You know, we want to force our will on the situation. And the victim stuff is the same, you know. Poor me. I am not treated right. I am not responsible for my upsets. Somebody else is causing a disease in me. See, that's what it is. Somebody's telling you that they're getting a disease caused in them. And then you're trying to save them from that disease by avoiding that person or that thing. You see? So it's all the same. I'm trying to cure you of your disease. I'm going to be the cure of your disease. I'm going to solve it. You'll be okay and then the person convinces you that if you don't do it for them, then they're going to be more in their disease and you can't have that. So you got to go.
Well, and you convince yourself of the same thing.
Yeah, you're convinced that you can.
If you're the rescuer.
Yeah, you can convince yourself that you're going to take this person's pain away. And you're going to be the hero to their pain. And there it is. And then the reason I go try to be the hero to people's pain is because I'm in pain.
And then you turn yourself into the victim.
Yeah, I'm going to cure my disease. I'm going to I'm going to be better than I am, more than I am, because I solved this person's disease. So there you go. We're all trying to solve the disease for each other. So there you go. And then the one person that perpetrated the thing, that did the thing, they're trying to cure their disease. They're saying, you're causing my disease. And they got mad and they yelled. And they victimized somebody because they think the person they victimized is the cause of their disease. So it's an illusion. It's a magic trick.
Mm-hmm.
You see?
You like rotate in the triangle at some point?
Of course you rotate the triangle. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. You play all three, dude.
Yeah, you bounce around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's all to try to cure your disease. It's all because you can't sit still. It's all because you can't be present. It's all because you're absorbed by your thoughts.
Yeah.
And you're absorbed by victimized thoughts, or everyone in the triangle is victimized.
Or you're consumed by the oppressor thoughts. Or you're consumed by the
but even the oppressor feels victimized, so that's why he oppresses.
Yeah.
You know, it's a beautiful thing. Look at all this stuff we're doing to try to feel better.
Fucked up.
Yeah, there's always going to be something external that I do to make me feel better. Yeah. I'm looking for God in LA. I have a map of LA and I'm looking for God. And then somebody goes, you figure it out. You are LA. Oh, well, shit, my map says I got to turn right here. Well, no wonder why you're confused. You see? You're looking for God when you're it. You're looking for truth when you're it. You're looking for presence when you're presence. You're looking for love when you're it. You are love. Just be what you are. No, I want to be me. I want to control the universe. Well, all you have to do is sit there and be love. But I'm not love. I need to find it. People say that. You got to find love. Whoa, where are you going to find it? Well, conveniently, she had a nice body too. I found love. Did she have a nice body? Yes. Weird. Lucky for you. Did you find love or did you find a nice body? You found a nice body. Well, now you can't find love because you're it. Well, do you love her? Well, we'll see. We'll see if the mind matches the body. We'll see if she's not crazy. What about him? Do you love him? Well, maybe. We'll see how he does. Well, you can't find love because you're it. Can't find it. You can't find God because you're it. Keep looking. Then you get still and you sit and you go realize, oh, you feel it. Oh, man, there's a tear coming down. How am I crying? I haven't found God. How am I crying? I haven't found love. Why am I crying? Oh, because I am love and it's seeping out.
Well, and I don't think that it means that the family sit back and or spouses or brothers or sisters and hold the little cherub up and say, look, you're love.
No, but it doesn't. But people always ask on here, how do I support? You don't support by loving. How do you love? You be love. You be truth. You be presence. You be it. You be what you are. No. I'm not going to be what I am. I'm going to go out and fix it. And I'm going to fix it angrily or disturbed or anything that I want to fix it. Well, that didn't work. So what really is going to work? Well, you got to do your part as a family. You don't need to love them. You need to be love. How do I love them? By showing them like it's an obligation? Well, you know I love you. I bought you socks. You know I love you. You acted like a piece of shit for years and I'm still here. You know I love you. Does that look like love? Does that look like someone being love? You know, after you get done yelling at somebody, you'll know I always love you. Really? You weren't loving me 5 minutes ago. Yeah, but I love you in a different way. It's that long-lasting love that I just always love you and you should just always know. Well, I'm not feeling it. So we just see we're all suffering from the disease of humanism, the human condition. And it ain't easy to love. It ain't easy to be still enough and present enough to be all those things. It ain't easy to be truth, presence, stillness, love. God. It's not easy because you want to be you. You want to be Mama Bundle and solve it. Here, I love you. I just fucking, like a baby bird we love. Pop its head off. I love you. Oh, shit. Where'd the head go? Well, he wasn't acting right.
One time?
What'd she say?
He just wants to pop his head off one time.
Yeah. I love you, little bundle. Pop. Little bundle head, pop off, roll down the road.
Why is my mom laughing?
What'd he say?
Bailey said, why is my mom laughing too?
Oh, we're all laughing.
Seems to relate.
It's tough stuff. See, this lends to the fact that we all have work to do. And the work isn't how I, a lot of people think the work of dealing with the addict is how do I say it in a different way? That way that I say it will get them to change. And there is no way. And there's no way to say it. And you're never going to say it right. So you're asking there's a wrong question. How do I be loved when everything inside me is insecure? How do I be loved in God when I'm so damn disturbed? How do I be loved in God when I'm so irritated? How do I be present when all I can think about is the fear of them dying? How do I be present with all this fear? Faith? How do I find faith right there? Trust God. Well, when you trust God, you'll be present. Simultaneously, so is God presence? Yeah. When you trust God, one thing will happen. God, presence, love, and truth will all come. And it'll come simultaneously and you'll feel it all. But you can't worry. Because worry, that's not God, that's not faith, that's not love. So now I have to do the work. I have to see the disease of worry. I have the disease of panic. The fear that's causing the disease. Now I have to learn to see why. I have to look at it. And my life goes on because this lasts for 10 years or 12 years or whatever. And in the time, I'm going to have to enjoy life and we're going to have to be together and there's work to do. And so now you see all the work. And then sometimes you just got to say shit just so you can be present again. You just got to tell people how you feel. And that works. You unload, you go, I can be present now. I can be present again. I needed to unload on you. Thank you. And you can't lie to yourself. You just got to do it. So you don't act like a good person. You act truthful. And a truthful person needs to unload. And a truthful person needs to say what they're feeling. But a good person needs to hide what they're feeling. And a good person needs to not say the truth because that might hurt. But there is no room for being a good person on here. There's only room for being a truthful person. Forget being a good person. You won't make it through.
Often the truth gets a surprising response.
Yeah, the truth will work. The truth will work. And not the truth because you think you know the truth. The truth isn't what you think you know. The truth is what you're thinking. So it's not that your thoughts are true, but it's true that you're having the thoughts. So you must expel those thoughts so that you can figure out if they're true or not. And when you do, you won't be stuck in your thoughts. You'll be present again. So you can't sit in here and wonder. You can't be righteous. You've got to say those thoughts in hopes that they're not true so you can get them out. And once they get out, you'll return because you were just present to your thoughts and you were absorbed by them, but you need to get them out of your head. And you better do it no matter how you do it. There ain't no room for a good person. A good person doesn't say what they're thinking. There ain't no room for that here. You say what you're thinking or you die. Because what you're thinking is causing a disease. And that disease has medicine. And your medicine that you're used to is drugs and alcohol. And those things will kill you. So if you don't start speaking and being the truth and stop being a good person, stop worrying about people's feelings and all that shit, but just say, I want to speak the truth. I don't know if it's really true, but it's true that I'm having these thoughts and I need to tell you what these thoughts are because I can't fucking be in here alone with them anymore. And there it is. And now I'm present again. Not only does the fate of you, but the fate of your family, the fate of everyone depends upon your ability to share your thoughts. You keep them to yourself, you get sick. You extinguish the light that you are. You cover it up with thought. You cover it up with resentment. You cover it up with disturbance. You should be screaming at the top of your lungs whatever you think is true. Figure it out later. Let the pieces fall where they may. Then you get to survive. Because the light will return. It won't be covered up by thought. I'm empty. Nothing left. No thought you haven't heard. You can see it. Free. Are you free? Are you free with your family? Or is the thoughts that they haven't heard? Well, those thoughts that they haven't heard, you're alone with, and you're not present because of it, and you're not love, and you're not God, and you're not truth, but you're a good person. You look good because you don't say mean things. So let's get real. Well, I think I'm going to end right there and call it for tonight. I hope there's some work to do on everyone's behalf. We've got people calling their biological fathers and people calling their fathers and conversations being had and relief given and presents returning and lights being turned on and it's all happening. So, and it's an honor to do the work with all of you and we'll see you next week. Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
See you next week. Good night. Good night.